Hey everyone, I'm Cara Di Falco. Welcome to Cara's Cucina. Today I am going to show you my great-grandmother's recipe for handmade gnocchi. Great food isn't just about good ingredients and knowing how to cook, it's about telling the story of the food. To make our gnocchi, I have 4 potatoes. This is going to serve about 4 people as an entree. 4 potatoes are just over 3 pounds, 2 cups of flour, 2 whole eggs, and some salt. So I have scrubbed our potatoes and I'm going to pierce them all over with a fork. And this is the one part of this recipe that we're not going to do the old-fashioned way. Normally you would bake the potatoes and you would bake them in the oven. It takes a little over an hour. We're going to microwave them so we can save ourselves a bit of time. So you're going to microwave the potatoes for about 6 minutes on each side, or a total of 12 minutes. You do want to make sure you flip them in between so that they cook evenly. And then while those are cooking, we are going to get the rest of our ingredients ready. While their potatoes are cooking, we're going to get the rest of our ingredients ready. So typically when you make gnocchi, and again, because Italians don't ever write anything down, everything is kind of an estimate as far as the amounts. So we generally do 1 potato per person and about a half cup of flour per potato. You're gonna have to alter that. It depends on the moisture level of the potatoes. It depends on their exact weight, but everything that my great-grandmother always did, she just kind of did by eye, and then ultimately how the dough felt. Now you wanna use tipo doppio zero flour, or the most fine grain of flour. It's also sometimes referred to as Italian style flour, and it is generally what they make pasta with. So we have our flour. Again, it's about 2 cups for 4 potatoes. I have some extra on the side in case I need it. We are gonna add in a generous pinch of salt, and just using our fingers, we're gonna get this mixed together and start to create a well. Our potatoes have cooked. We want them to cool a little bit so that you can at least touch them. And to prep these, we're gonna just cut them in half. And we are gonna have to peel them. So you just wanna peel them by hand. Because they're cooked, the skin should come off rather easily. And we're gonna throw that out. And then in order to get them into the flour mixture, you do need this tool. This is what's called a potato ricer. This one's gotta be at least 100 years old, I think. I'm exaggerating. But if you don't have one, I will hook you up in the link below, or you can find it on the shop section of caradifalco.com. So we'll get you those available. They're another very inexpensive kitchen product, but again, it's called a ricer, and that's how we're gonna get the potato cut up and into the flour. We have all of our potatoes riced out. You can see it actually overlaps our flour. I've made another well in the center. We're gonna add in 1 whole egg. I have a second one cracked here and ready to go. And again, we're really just gonna check and see as we start to make our dough if that needs another one. Have a little flour on the side. I'm gonna get some flour on my hands, and we're gonna start to bring the outer edges up and in and begin to create our dough. We formed our dough and we've let it rest for about 30 minutes. If it starts to feel a little bit dry, you can always cover it with a damp kitchen towel or a piece of paper towel. To form our gnocchi, we're gonna cut off a small portion of the dough. Again, we have some more flour here. And we're gonna roll this into a snake. Just about a 1/2 inch thick. From our snake, we're gonna cut our gnocchi. Now, my nonni always made them rather petite, so you don't want big, huge ones. So we're gonna cut them again, just about a 1/2 inch in length. Now to form the gnocchi, a lot of people, and especially restaurants, will stop here because it's easy, but you have to roll them off the fork. So you have your fork, you're gonna place it on an angle, resting against the board. Take your gnocchi, and starting at the top, you're just gonna use your thumb to roll them down the fork. And that's gonna create the lines on the outside and a little scoop on the inside so that it'll catch your sauce. And we're gonna set those aside on a tray lined with some parchment paper and some foil. And you generally wanna do, when you're making handmade pasta, I try to usually do rows of 10 so that they're easy to count. And you typically, again, for an entree, you want about 40 or 50 individual pieces for a single serving. If you were going to do this as an appetizer or a first course, you would want about 10 to 12 individual pastas or gnocchi for each serving. Once you have all your gnocchi formed, we have a nice salted pot of boiling water, and we're gonna get them in there. And just like any other fresh pasta, basically as soon as they float, they're ready to be pulled out. So I also have on the side here our tomato sauce ready to go. It's just a basic classic marinara sauce, and I'll put the card up for that in our YouTube video. We'll get these in. These will cook in about 3 minutes. Our gnocchi are cooked, so we are going to use our spider or a strainer to pull them out of the water. I have our warm tomato sauce here over low heat. We'll get these in. I'm going to add just a little bit of the cooking water to this as well. And just a little pat of butter to help finish everything up. And that's it. Once that butter melts, we're going to plate these and serve them with some Parmesan cheese. Serve your gnocchi in tomato sauce or any sauce you would like, topped with some Parmesan cheese. And that is how you make Nonni's Italian-style potato gnocchi. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. This is a very dear recipe for me and for my family, so I hope you guys treasure it as much as we do. Buon appetito!